Are you woke or are you a bigot? Would you date a trans person? If no, are you transphobic? Or are you anti-feminism because you think women should have bigger pay than men? These are questions to some of the most outdated yet very relevant conversations that we have right now. Let's have a discussion. Aside from the coronavirus, 2020 has its fair share of controversies. Controversies in a way that it has boomed itself in social media. And since we barely have face-to-face conversations, everything takes place on social media. But let me ask you this. Do you think that social media has narrowed our social literacy to this level? That's for you to answer. I believe that social media has narrowed our social literacy because we cannot really have a concrete conversation without somebody getting offended. We cannot share our opinion, share our political views, we cannot share our views towards media because there are so many ideologies that are being fed to us through social media which do not really make room for a lot of discussions. We barely have conversations about these issues. Black Lives Matter, trans rights, women's rights. These are few of the many battles that we human beings are still going on up until to this date, 2021. Who knew? And why is that? It is because we act before we speak. It is because the way we want to prove our point through violence, anger, feelings over facts. And I keep going back to this point. Why don't we just talk about it? Social literacy on its basic nature revolves around communications, and critical thinking skills is also something to have. When we try to have a conversation, you need to rebuttal, but in a way that it's respectable, that will not cause further damage. Take for instance about Black Lives Matter. Instead of talking it out, we would like to shout, argue. This new level of wokeness has destroyed us, shifted us as human beings. It's no longer a race problem. It's no longer a gender problem. It's no longer a problem about sex or religion or whatsoever. So nag-ulan nga kamulok og video. So let's bear with the rain na lang, ha? I'll bring you closer na lang so you can hear me better. So going back, it's no longer those problems, but rather a human problem. The way we cancel people about a post that was made years ago. The way you just ruin someone's life just because they don't agree with you. The way on how you turn conversations into arguments because you really want to push your point. That is not social literacy. So if you ever do offend someone or if you get offended by somebody's actions or words, just talk it out. A good and educated conversation will solve anything. It's okay to have feelings during a conversation, but it's very not okay. I think it's very close-minded to acknowledge the other party's point. You can walk away to a conversation if you don't want. I think the most rational thing to do is to leave a conversation that is very toxic. And if that conversation does not really give you more insight about that person's argument, then leave. There's no shame in that. Fighting will only get you so far in this world. Violence will only get you so far in this world. Anger, arrogance, close-mindedness. These are things that conversations, communication, and critical thinking can avoid. I'm not saying you should agree with everyone. I'm not saying that the world will really understand you for your beliefs. I'm not even saying that people should really agree with you. But the most important thing is to have a clear understanding of what your point is. Communication, critical thinking, having a good conversation will help solve your problems. It's safer and lets you understand the person more. Just my opinion, and we can even start a conversation in the comments below. So I hope you have some insights from this video. I know it's very candid, but it's something very raw that will let you say that I'm really genuine about my words, to make sure that my point is getting across as genuine as possible. I have no agenda here. So that's it. I hope you really pick things up from this. And remember, talk it out, don't fight it out. Bye-bye.